Hello, hello, all of my sweet nobodies out there. One day, I'm gonna grind those bones into some flour, and I'm gonna make some bread and eat it, and you are gonna be delicious, and you know it. I know it. The whole world knows it. It's just, when's the time? So, the strangest thing struck me as I was sitting down to write the intro that would finally allow me to release this episode, which has been in limbo for far longer than intended or warranted. This epiphany of the odd variety was a thought that caused me to question why I hadn't questioned or even found a cause for pause to ponder the glaring omission of a trope so ingrained in the part of my mind that holds all of the Cliff Note tidbits I've accumulated to impress strangers waiting in line at a taco truck, and or telemarketers completely unaware that the auto-dialed phone number that now rings has no money, plenty of time, and is filled to the brim with murder facts and Snapple bottle top provided trivia. But the surprising thing here is one that I feel somewhat loathsome for having to realize that it had all but relegated itself to the sidelines, effectively defanging its effective influence for almost the entirety of the story. What I didn't expect from a story that takes place in the early 1900s involving a black man, an axe, and suspected gratuitous application of said tool is the fact that almost zero of the admittedly 100% white folk that were left to uphold the letter of the law made like a big deal about the fact that Jake Bird was a black man. It was mentioned once or twice, sure, but looking back on those moments now, it reads more like a description tool than anything meant to accentuate the era at hand's propensity for the intolerant, violent spewing of racial rhetoric. Now, that is absolutely not to say that I don't believe that his race was considered a factor when trying and convicting him, because that would be ridiculous. This was a turn-of-the-century courtroom staffed by turn-of-the-century people intending to mete out turn-of-the-century justice. I more just find it fascinating, really, that the contemporary news media of the day found restraint and you could even somewhat say tact when they spoke of Jake Bird, who was a black man who had perpetrated this bloody rampage, of which really he wouldn't even divulge the bulk of until after the original trial. But I guess the impending death cloud that is the death penalty tends to get your gums a-flapping if it can save you for even just a minute. I really hope that you guys enjoy this episode. Even though the audio is a wee bit subpar, we used a new mic, and the software that was included decided to make a few default decisions that were almost impossible to reverse engineer. But every episode from now on, I swear to God, that doesn't sound awesome, I'm cutting one of Chris's fingers off. What does he need them for? To flip me off while we record? Yeah, I'm digits goodbye. No more digital Chris. Enjoy. My girl, don't lie to me. So tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, I would shiver the whole
was a hard working man. Just about.
God, it is great to know that God is great, and to know that He has made today the day that we believe in Him, and the day that the Lord shall come again, right in your fucking your hairy chest, Cuban link chain, you know?
Now,
And then you're like, man, I just got that back from the jewelers. It was cleaned. It was nice. And now, I mean, it's not my eyes, and I appreciate that, because that can cause big problems. But you got to respect the chest hair chain.
you do.
Yeah.
Now, by we, do you mean you and I, or like the royal we?
I mean like Pee-wee Herman. Paul Rubens.
Don't think he has much chest hair for that.
I know that I don't.
Certainly not enough for that fat Cuban link.
I mean, I have some. I am, of course, an old man now. So there is hair where there used to not be, even in places where I wasn't anticipating it for years.
Right.
Man, some of it's so hard to get rid of.
I agree.
The other day I had this knife, right? And I was just totally going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I was done cutting the apple that my daughter was going to eat for breakfast, I went and I shaved. And everything was good. Was that the Undertaker hand or something? Or, no, Mankind's hand.
It was similar to either one. It means that I will choke slam you.
Don't do that. The only thing around here is this beautiful table that weighs 6,000 pounds that you helped me bring into this fucking house.
And on it is part of your livelihood.
Yeah. I'm very, very good at. And actually, none of that's mine. It's all Melissa's.
Oh.
My stuff has been picked up because I have started treating my business like a business.
So I can dip my balls in it then, huh?
I don't know how you would physically, like, by the laws of physics, mind you, how you would dip anything in any of that.
I'm gonna teabag those and that.
I mean, I think that this is a free country.
Take all the lids off of these.
Mm-hmm. I
Give them a vigorous rub.
I think that the fact that you have put so much thought into it, even though it's stupid, I think you've won already.
And then I'm gonna do one of those angry dude things that, like in the movies where they like brush all the stuff off the table or the desk or something.
Just to have sex with their secretaries.
And I'm gonna use my nuts for it.
I am not your secretary. I am your secretariat. I'm a racehorse, and you know that.
Show's on. Mine too.
And welcome to another rambling, nonsensical episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
I'm gonna use my nuts. UFOs, conspiracies, and moitas.
Nut Midas!
Nut moitas. That's much.
Damn it. You cut off my nuts much.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers that you switched to Nut Much instead of Pepperidge Farms. An elephant never forgets, and Pepperidge Farm always motherfucking remembers. Clock, 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 clock. That's the sound of a. That's a violent murder with a gun.
By the way, if you like the thought of the old Pepperidge Farm guy shooting up some nuts much, you can email us at.
I need it, man. I need my nuts much today. I haven't had it. I'll remember this.
snhnsnpod@gmail.com, care of Jason Rambo.
Or nuts much. You have to really draw out the S. Is it H?
It would be an H.
You can't draw out an H. Much. Or you have to be CH?
I guess. Yeah, that makes the sense. We'll go with that.
Not much.
That's the only way he'll recognize it. Otherwise, he's immediately deleting the email.
I've been doing that anyway, even with the nuts much thing.
Mm.
I hate our fucking listeners so much. You know why? They're just too beautiful. I have been stalking most of them And not like a real intense stalking, but like a admire from afar, just to see what makes them tick.
Up on this third tree branch.
And I can't for the life of me understand why they fucking listen to us at all. Except for the fact that we are as attractive and beautiful and wonderful and lighthearted and nice as they are.
Especially in person.
Except for that one dude I stabbed at one time because he touched my nuts much.
That was totally different.
Nuts much.
Your nuts much were in jeopardy, and I believe that's warranted and nay, necessary.
And I you know what? I paid my dues. I served my time. Not in jail, but in the prison of the mind. I felt bad about that for a good long time. I took a shower and a half and maybe a bag of the Cheetos popcorn that I had today.
Whole pack of Big Red.
It was good. So, Jake Bird is not a bird named Jake or a Jake named Bird.
Nor is it the second cousin of a basketball player.
It could be Larry Bird's cousin. They can both jump. I know that. Just like white men. Jake Bird was born, and I'll quote, somewhere out in Louisiana where there ain't no post office.
I guess there's probably a few towns like that, but...
I mean, still probably.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is in the fucking, let me see, when he was born.
Sounds quite desolate.
He was born December 14th, 1901.
Jeez, yeah, there are plenty more towns weren't no, post offices.
Yeah, the city we're in now was literally just a swamp then, and it was until like the 40s or some shit, huh?
Wow.
That's when Kenner popped up or some shit.
Yeah, probably. Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's because it's the truth that I just made up.
That still sounds right to me.
So he lived in this desolate, swampy, shitty, mosquito-infested, Rougarou having place until...
Which we know it was.
Yeah, no, he literally, in his memoirs that he did not write, that I just made up, he said that he had two best friends that were Rougarous, but by the time he turned 13, they just couldn't hang out with him anymore.
They were getting into too much...
and I blame the public school system. I really do.
Stuff.
Because they can't count that high, and it's not that hard to do. I can go to at least 16 or 17.
I can count so high. Like, I get really, really high, and then I start rattling off at numbers.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, my goodness.
I can count on you, Chris. You're my friend. So shut your mouth. Let me finish this fucking sentence.
Travel down the road and back again.
Man, thank you for being a friend. So he lived in this place until he was 19, when he seemed to decide that he might like to try a town with a post office. The end.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Make me smile. Show me that smile.
This isn't mashups. We're not playing mashups. Continue.
You know MASH's theme song is called Suicide is But a Fantasy?
It's bleak.
It was about the Korean War.
I know.
That guy's, whatever that is, I'll tell you what. All of you people out there that have fireplaces, I understand now why you hate them. I can hear people talking outside like it's coming through the fucking goddamn wall right here.
That's crazy.
It is insane. When it's really windy, it fucking makes the house swell inside. It's nuts. Anyway, over the following years of his life, he never really settled down anywhere for long. He worked as everything from a manual laborer to a Gandhi dancer. I don't know, but it's a railroad thing. I don't know if it's a railroad job, but he danced on Gandhis, unless dancing is not dancing, like we think of it, and Gandhi is like a...
Well, now I'm curious. What the hell Gandhi
How could
means?
you not be curious what a Gandhi dancer is? I have no fucking clue. But while you look it up, I'll continue. It was this type of work that built Jake's strength and also allowed him to keep moving from town to town, always finding something to do for money. Like that one time he got real good at fucking playing jacks.
Yeah, I heard that. A member of a railroad section gang that lays or maintains track is a Gandhi dancer.
Gang meaning just group of workers that usually work together, right? They're not like the Jets and the Sharks.
Correct.
Man.
The term dancer apparently in reference to the rhythmic movements characteristic of such work. Gandhi is unexplained. The existence of a Gandhi manufacturing company, which supposedly produced tools used by the section gangs, has not been substantiated.
I don't know if I trust that Gandhi factory that made tools specifically to do the things that these people were doing as the thing that they said. However, but yeah, no, that's I guess the classical like what your mind shows you when you think of people building the railroad or laying down track for the railroad is you see the people that are outside with the long, huge iron fucking tracks that they put down with the wood under them, and then they're hammering those fucking nails into the side. That's a Gandhi dancer.
That's a Gandhi dancer.
I think that's my new insult for people with bad haircuts while we're out driving around and say, check out that fucking Gandhi dancer. What an idiot. He has stupid hair. So he traveled all around places. People traveled back then. They didn't stay in one place for long because there's no fucking post office.
Especially with such access to the tracks.
How are you going to send mail bombs?
Could be on either side, though.
If there's no post office. This guy needed a plan.
He needed a facility.
He needed to dance the Gandhi. Fantastic.
To gather the resources, yes.
So his travels ended. No. You know what? Fuck that. We are not gonna hit that one yet. You know what? We're gonna go a little bit further back.
He's gonna Gandhi dance around it.
A little bit. I know I saw one that had the thing I'm looking. There it is. Sorry, Murderpedia can sometimes be an obtuse lover.
Indeed.
That's my favorite Dionne Warwick song.
Obtuse lover?
No, Murderpedia can sometimes be an obtuse lover.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was a transient, which is, I think, what most of America was at the time. He had a pretty lengthy criminal record, including burglaries, assaults, attempted murder, and murder most foul.
Most foul.
Which is just regular murder at the same time. So he himself would later estimate that he had probably served about 15 years of his life total in prisons for committing just whatever. So, he left
down here in Louisiana. He didn't.
No, I mean he only stayed in Louisiana until he was 19.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. And then he left, and then he never stayed in one place for long. He was what was called a itinerant, itinerant,
Itinerant.
Itinerant. I don't know why I said itinerant. So itinerant worker. Often he found employment with the railroad as a Gandhi dancer. Section gang laborer, to be more specific, which would allow him to earn money and also move from town to town. So it seemed to lend itself quite well to his lifestyle of not wanting to look at the same hill for more than 2 days, I guess.
Criminal behaviors.
Piss me off. Fucking hills always fucking lording it over me like that.
I swear. Depending on where he was laying track, too.
That is...
Could have been pretty bad.
So, he was... damn. Okay. We're going to just jump into it, I guess, apparently. Into the big one. Because then other stuff adds itself to it afterwards. And hello with the baby. Hi. So,
Le bébé.
On October 30th, 1949, so he is now 48 years old. Wait, why does it say a 45-year-old transient? If he was born in 1901.
Your math is correct.
And this is 1949.
They're.
I mean, it is October, so
The writing is wrong.
so technically he'd still just be 47. Anyway, he breaks into the home of Bertha Kludt, Kludt,
Mm-hmm.
and her daughter Beverly June Kludt.
Mm.
Change your last names, ladies. That's and hacks them to death with an axe, which, as we were kind of talking about earlier, is I think maybe the first axe murders that we've spoken about on our show, where the axe was used to axe murder someone and not as a baseball bat.
What was the motive?
He like I don't know. He's just two police officers sent to the Tacoma residence to investigate reports of screams from inside the residence, see a man running out the back door, and then they fucking give chase. He's eventually captured in this foot chase and then taken to the Tacoma City Jail, where he confesses to not only these killings, but many more. He said that these were basically just a burglary that had gone bad. I was trying to burgle their souls.
Trying to burgle.
And then one of them yelled and screamed. And I'm like, well, that went wrong. That went bad.
I guess we should split them.
So on November 26, 1947, which is impossible, because that says 1949. So it has to be 47. That is a typo, and fuck that person.
That would have been, yeah.
So after a 3-day trial, which is not very long, a Pierce County jury convicts him of first-degree murder, and they recommend the death penalty.
Dos counts.
I was going to say maybe they should recommend like using the, what was it, Crest?
The dick penalty.
Yes, the Crest toothpaste is what I meant. Not, is there something but
you smear it all over the head and the balls.
Burn so bad.
Yes.
I mean, it's a penalty, I guess, for murder.
It's quite a penalty.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
And then follow it up with icy hot.
Oh. So while on death row, he then continues to confess to committing or being involved in at least 44 murders during his travels across the country.
That's a decent body count.
Yeah, 44. Yes, I agree.
Jeez.
That is more than a decent body count. So on October 30th, 1947, which we know was that day on the thing there. This gives us a little bit more of the chase, because this is kind of all we have of him, is that he for sure axe murdered these ladies and was caught by these cops and then did this stuff and then was hung.
But he was cool about it the whole time.
I mean, I wouldn't say cool about it. I mean, the photo of him leaned back on the phone with a cigar is pretty cool.
I mean, I would think that is pretty indicative of these not being his first murders.
I mean, I think that, I mean, maybe. I think that he might just have been the kind of psychopath that knew when his jig was up and then was like, well, since there's literally no fight in this, I might as well have a good time until, maybe, you know?
Did already do some time for attempted murder, though, you said.
Yeah, apparently. I hope that it's true. So at 2:30 a.m. on the 30th, Tacoma police officers Andrew P. Sabutis, Sabutis.
No idea what origin that is.
Sabutis. And Evan, and then in quotes, Skip Davies. That's right. It was Sabutis and Skip.
Davies.
They were dispatched to 1007 South 21st Street to investigate reports of screams emanating from inside the residence. As they approached, a barefoot man ran out of the back door into the backyard and crashed through a picket fence. The two patrolmen immediately gave chase, even though they didn't have bare feet.
No, they
Like
had
this guy.
shoes.
This guy had the feet of a bear
Probably why he was caught.
and the heart of an eagle. And he had the testicles of a turtle that was completely unrelated to anything.
Human chimera.
No. He ate the eagle heart along with most of the rest of the eagle. Truthfully, we'll talk about that on another episode, or actually not. We won't ever do that because I just ate this pizza and now I'm thinking like, well, is that what eagle heart tastes like? I bet it is.
Mucho marinara.
Sriracha covered. So after scaling a couple more backyard fences, the fugitive was finally stopped by a high fence and cornered in an alley behind 2122 South J Street. Just the letter J, which is odd. He pulled out a jackknife, which is isn't that like a ice skater move? Jackknife? Or no, that's what trucks do on ice. Trucks on ice.
Trucks on ice.
We know all too well how cool those are. Trucks are awesome on ice.
Yeah,
and then
totally.
he attacked the officers.
What? That's why he got caught.
He cut Skip's hand and he stabbed Sabutis in the shoulder.
With an axe?
No, with his jackknife.
Oh, jackknife.
Yeah.
So Jack Bird with the jackknife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Officer Sabutis, a former prize fighter known as Tiny Lamar. Tiny Lamar Sabutis. He subdued the assailant with a left hook to the jaw.
Bing, bing.
And a kick to the dick.
Ooh.
Ba-boom!
That's a good combo.
Stab me in the shoulder, you son of a bitch. I'm motherfucking Tiny Lamar.
Left hook, right thrust kick.
Kick to the groin.
Yeah.
After the fight, the prisoner was taken to the Tacoma General Hospital by Officer John Hickey. We'll skip right past it because we're adults.
That's right.
Took him there in a patrol wagon where he received treatment for head and face lacerations. Sabutis was admitted to St. Joseph Hospital with a severe back wound, and Davies had the cuts on his hands stitched and bandaged at the same hospital. When police officers entered the residence that they found this man fleeing from, they found Bertha Clute at age 52, dead in her bedroom, and then adjacent to the kitchen, and the body of her daughter, Beverly June Clute, age 17, on the kitchen floor. Both women had been bludgeoned to death with an axe, which had then been left at the crime scene. Detective Lieutenant Earl Cornelison, yep, that's right, determined that an attempt had been made to sexually assault Bertha Clute before she was intentionally slain. Beverly June, hearing her mother's screams, apparently dashed from her upstairs bedroom into the kitchen where she encountered the assailant and was murdered. Moided. So they have this axe murdering attempted rapist piece of garbage that has been these things for a very long time.
Jack Bird.
Jackknife, Jackbird, bare feet, eagle heart.
I like it.
I like it too. I don't like him. No, I am not a part of his posse or crew, or what was it called? It was a gang of Gandy dancers.
The gang of Gandy dancers.
The Gandy dancing gang of heart thief eagles. So on Friday, October 31st, which you will notice is the next day, and also Halloween.
So it is.
Deputy Prosecutor Earl D. Mann. No bullshit. EARL. The letter D, period. MANN. Earl D. Mann. I need a drink to that.
Earl the man. And was he though, or is he another one of those ones? Those parents name him something cool, and then he can never live up to it.
We're gonna have to see. We'll see what happens. He charged Jake Bird in Pierce County Superior Court with first-degree murder, but only in the death of Bertha Clute. It was customary to file only one charge in multiple homicides, where failure to obtain a conviction on the first offense would allow the filing of additional murder charges, which is fucking kind of genius. So just in case you can somehow get out of this.
But wait, there's more.
That's right. Behind curtain number 2 is fuck you again.
Yeah.
Get ready for that shit.
By the way,
Man, what an asshole.
it's also this dead chick.
That's mean. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. Anyway.
That silence was
Deafening? I know.
just getting to the point of ever so slightly uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I know. That's right when the hair starts to prickle up on your neck.
He gets weird whenever I gaze at his nipplies.
I get weird
In
when I
between.
know that my nipples are gazeable.
In between silence
So,
moments of the show.
being interrogated by Detective Lieutenant Sherman W. Lyons at the city jail, where
So we got Lions and the Man?
he's Lions and the Man,
Alright.
or the Man and Lions. No, I like Lions and the Man.
Yeah, it sounds more like a
Buddy
80s.
cop show.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, let's get it in pre-production.
Lions and the Man.
In demand,
And
on demand.
Demand.
Because there's so much boobies in it that you can't have it on regular TV. Where he dictated and signed a confession in the presence of 4 police officers. His confession stated that he entered the Clute residence through the unlocked back door to commit a quote-unquote easy burglary. He brought along an axe that he found in a nearby shed to bluff off anyone who tried to bother me, he said.
Bluff off.
Yeah. I'm a guy with an axe. Well, yes, you are, sir. You continue on your night. So he removed his shoes, and then he snuck into Bertha Clute's bedroom and stole $1.50. $1.50 from her purse. He then returned to the kitchen. He turned around and found Bertha standing behind him. Now, you know, a lady named Bertha, probably not this little pushover.
I mean,
I imagine a running full speed, has like footsteps so loud and bassy that I have to turn my subwoofer down when I'm watching this movie, and she just like from 3 foot away, just diving tackle.
I'm picturing the either one of the sets of legs that used to be the caretakers for Tom and Jerry. For Tom,
Yes.
but Jerry was the
Oh, that's the
you know.
that's the racist one.
No, there was a black
That's
one and a white one.
But it's the mammy one, isn't it? That's the one you're talking about.
No, I said either one.
Why are you yelling at me?
They both had
Racist tendencies, I know.
thick imposing legs, and they could stomp quite a bit.
Yeah, but they not very effective stompers though. They
No,
never-
Jerry was way too crafty for them.
Wow,
Yeah,
racist.
nah,
No, against Mexican mice.
he's a mouse. He doesn't have to like people of any race.
No, you're being racist against Mexican mouse. Mexican mouse.
Mescaline mouse?
Does Mexilin. That sounds like a Mexican tire.
If you have hepatitis B,
Take this Mexilin. It's a mouse with a sombrero on.
do not take Mexilin if you are allergic to Mexilin. Mexilin.
If you can't stand putting mice in your butt, you probably shouldn't be on this medicine.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't fucking make the rules or the medicine.
Yeah,
Bird told her that he
kind of
only
back
wanted
then.
her money and his shoes. Why he didn't leave his shoes outside is his own fault. You know what? No. You can have the money, I'm keeping your shoes.
So split a face with an axe.
Period. And then he would leave. But then, suddenly, Beverly June grabbed him from behind and a fierce struggle ensued, resulting in the deaths of the 2 women. He then added that he thought the policeman would shoot him when they had him cornered in the bushes, so he attacked him with his knife. Which, I mean, 47, black guy, axe, probably going to get shot. So,
Don't think they had tasers
yes.
back then.
No, or an understanding of racial equality. Yeah, a deeper understanding, anyway. Like us.
Exactly like us.
So we know that they're just trying them for the mom for right now. Judge Edward D. Hodge appointed James W. Selden, a former Pierce County prosecutor, as his defense counsel. At his arraignment, Bird pled not guilty, and the trial was then set for Monday, November 24th. So,
Can you plead not guilty if you confessed?
yes, you can say that the confession was coerced or that it was, due to stress. And I don't know. No, you can't.
I was under duress.
And then I was under the skirt.
And a skirt.
So a motion hearing on November 14th, at the motion hearing, defense attorney Selden requested a change of venue, stating that Bird couldn't get a fair trial in Pierce County, which is probably true. He asked to be relieved as his attorney, informing the court that Bird wanted to represent himself.
Oh.
Which is always the best idea, guys. Like, if you find yourself in a situation where, let's say, court TV might show your trial on television, then you have a lawyer and he's got like Gandy Dancy hair. You can't be having no long Gandy Dancer's hair. And you look, man, you're fired. You fired.
You're fired.
I'm hired.
I think.
No.
Gandy dancing hair.
So the judge said no to both
gotta
of
be
those.
shame.
Both of those requests. He said no. He said no. That's your lawyer, and you're not your lawyer. Period. And we're not moving anywhere because fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you did, and I already know what I'm going to do to you.
Right, judges can do that.
That's right. Yeah, judges don't have to be impartial. The jury does. Judges can be like, you know what, jury, I think you're wrong. I'm going to go ahead and put him to death anyway.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. You guys will learn. You'll see one day. You'll thank me. You'll thank me with high fives and pats on the back and maybe like a little handy. Well, over the pants. Over the pants. Yeah, those are messy. Those are the messiest kind.
No.
Especially when you're an old man judge. Just wearing this skirt. Of course, a robe.
Only if I'm getting a lap dance.
That'd be weird to have just a lap dance for you as a Gandy.
I mean, that's the only over the pants handy I'll enjoy.
Still real messy.
I
don't want to talk about this anymore. Not while looking deep into your eyes. Don't you ever slow look up at me like that again. I'd rather that, actually. The trial began on schedule, believe it or not, in the Pierce County Courthouse before Judge Hodge, but was slowed by jury selection. Questioning of the prospective jurors revolved around their impressions of the crime, and these impressions were exclusively gleaned from the news media, and basically they just asked whether Jake Bird, who was a black man, could get a fair trial. 4 jurors were excused when it was learned that they had recently served on another first-degree murder trial in which the defendant was convicted and sentenced to hang. And by the end of the day, a jury of 9 men and 3 women was selected, and court was recessed until 9 a.m. the next day. So, the trial. It proceeded at a rapid pace and was concluded in just 1.5 days of testimony. That's not very long.
No.
I've had traffic court take longer than that. I haven't, but you get the gist.
Never been to traffic court. However,
have you been in night court? Bum 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 bum. I know that's the Law and Order music, but I don't remember the night court music.
I was immediately trying to think of the music too. I couldn't do it.
Oh, Judge Harry, you fucking weirdo.
No, never there either.
Bull was a nice guy, even though he was a big, tall guy with no hair. It makes me want to go maybe hang out at night court, but not have to go to night court.
Roz was my favorite.
Roz? Mm-hmm. Wasn't she on Friends?
No.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that the judge's black girlfriend?
No.
That was Whoopi Goldberg.
She was one of the bailiffs.
I remember her. She said, kiss my grits.
Not wrong show.
No, she was the one that said, dynamite!
Close.
Just say yes.
Close.
She said, continue with this.
What you talked about, Willis.
That was a Littleton guy, though. That was the Malcolm in the Middle kid.
That's right.
Malcolm, I think is his name, in the middle.
She said.
So.
Shut up.
Prosecuting attorney Patrick M. Steele. That's right. Patrick M. Steele
Well, a lot of cool guys' names in here.
Well, fucking Earl DeMann.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick M. Steele. Well, Earl DeMann.
Earl.
Let's get married, Earl. I want to be Patrick M. Mann. Or you could be Earl DeSteele. Or we could just keep our names and not get married, I guess. We have pretty cool names as it is.
Steele demand, Earl.
Well, his strategy was to prove that the death of Bertha was premeditated, thereby qualifying Bird for the death penalty. I mean, it's weird to say that, though, because I fully believe that this was, in his mind, a crime of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
He fully had just intended on going in there and stealing stuff, but he absolutely was prepared for the eventuality and maybe even inevitability that he was going to fuck up somebody with an axe.
I kind of feel like that had to have been the case.
But I kind of also feel that, well, no, I think if no one were home, he would have just robbed and left, not hung out and waited for them or anything like that. But I think that the second he saw that they were home, I think he killed Bertha without Bertha even knowing he was there. And then I think that...
they said a struggle ensued.
With the daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they did just
Are they
say...
both named Bertha?
No. The other one, the Beverly June.
Oh.
Yeah. So, some of the most important evidence in the trial was regarding the wanton murder of 17-year-old Beverly June, who was bludgeoned to death in the kitchen when she came to her mother's defense. Blood and brain tissue from both victims were found on Bird's clothing. His bloody fingerprints were found in the house and on the axe, and his shoes were found at the murder scene.
Fucking shoes.
He had his bare feet, man. You can't fit those shoes over bare feet.
Bare feet, eagle talons blazing.
Man, it's just smoking a big old fucking fat bowl of freedom. So the state introduced a surprise prize witness, Tacoma police officer John Hickey, who testified that he and Officer Russell Skatum, Skattum, that's right, don't look at me like that, that's the fucker's name, gave Bird a beating while he was in their custody.
It's not the one, though.
Hickey said, "I regret to say that I lost my temper after returning from the Clute home and viewing the terribly hacked bodies of the two women. I had asked Bird as we sat in the patrol wagon why he murdered the two women. He said he didn't do it. I asked him who did it then, and he said it was Leroy. Who's Leroy? I asked him. Another Negro around town, Bird replied. You're lying, I replied, and he looked at me with a smug and insolent look. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I hit him in the jaw with my fist, knocking him to the front of the patrol wagon. Then I struck him a number of times with my nightstick until he said, 'Don't kill me.' That brought me to my senses, and we took him to the hospital where a nurse said he wasn't that badly hurt."
Only took a few times.
Yeah. I mean, fucking nightsticks are... it's only used in night court.
I don't believe that's true, but I do believe they hurt like a motherfucker.
Other ones are called day sticks.
Especially if you're purposely busting them in the shins.
Glow sticks.
And they're not Thai boxers.
Tie sticks. Gross. Later, when Prosecutor Steele moved to enter Bird's signed confession into evidence, defense attorney Selden strenuously objected. He was like, "I object." It's strenuous.
That sounds like he was trying to...
That's what you strenuize.
Strain.
While you're doing.
To get that out.
Declaring it had been obtained under duress, and therefore it was inadmissible. But Judge Hodge disagreed, because he was an important white man. Most likely. Declaring that there was no relationship between the beating that he received and his voluntary confessions, and admitted it into evidence. Which I'm so glad that judge was there to know those things as fact and be able to convey that to the onlookers and the prosecutors and the defenders. And be like, no, it had nothing to do with it. This was a voluntary confession. I don't care that he couldn't speak, see, or hear.
Could have gone left.
That is his squiggle mark as signature.
If that old white man was not there, it could have gone somewhere
All
way darker.
Man. Really. Despite continued strenuous objections by Selden, the confession was read into record. Then the prosecution rested its case, which really is all you need to do as the prosecution is read his fucking confession. So the defense attorney, Selden, rested the defense without calling Bird or any other witness to the stand, which sounds fishy only for a bird, so it's Birdie. It sounds a little birdie to me.
Sounds a little Jackie Birdie to me.
Closing arguments were begun on Wednesday morning, November 26th, 1947, and the case went to the jury at noon. After deliberating for only fucking 35 minutes, they returned with a verdict.
Damn.
He was found guilty of first-degree murder, and the jury voted to impose the death penalty.
Fucking Jack Bird.
Bird, who had been impassive throughout the whole trial, sat unmoved as the judge read the verdict. On his way back to Pierce County Jail, Bird asked the 5 deputy sheriffs guarding him, "What's all the excitement about?" Really, dude? On Saturday, December 6th, Judge Hodge sentenced Bird to be hanged on the gallows at Washington State Penitentiary on January 16th, 1948. After a motion for a new trial was denied by the judge that fucking set his execution date, defense attorney Selden told the court that he had done everything in his power to defend Bird and that no further appeals would be made on his behalf. Then Selden declared, "I feel whenever any man 45 years old gets an idea that no lives are safe to anyone except his own, that a man is a detriment to society and should be obliterated." Obliterated. That is such a fucking...
That's a good word.
Seriously finite... Like, this... obliteration means obliteration. He's saying that this human being needs to be like that because he don't care about nobody but himself. But that kind of means he cares about somebody, you know?
Yeah, but no, I think that's a good word.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't say you and your seed, but I feel like you kind of meant that.
I guess. Get the cake batter fucking mixer out, and then we'll just really go at it, I guess. Damn it. Where was I? I remember. When Judge Hodge asked Bird for comment, he declared, "I was given no chance to defend myself. My own lawyers just asked you to hang me. My own lawyers just asked you to hang me. They apologized for defending me. If they were so reluctant to defend me, why did they contest the prosecutor's proof of murder and now say that everything is proven?" At the end of his 20-minute impassioned speech, Bird declared, "All you guys who had anything to do with this case are going to die before I do." It became known as the Jake Bird Hex. Within a year, 5 men connected with the case had died.
What?
Yeah, bitch.
That's a twist. What the hell?
What
So he's
a
got the
twist.
curse of Rasputin going
I
on?
fucking guess so, man. Let's see. This says Bird's past.
I feel like this is almost like a thing that people can do when they're like I don't want to say close to Satan, but you know, in a way that they're
Like a hex.
that
or
they're
something.
able to like spread their evil.
To be like, man, you know what? You guys suck. You're gonna die before I do, and then I'm gonna go free, and I'm gonna play all the Nintendo I want, and I'm gonna eat fruity and chocolate fucking Cocoa Pebbles in the same bowl, and I'm gonna flaunt it in front of God on a Sunday, and we will see who dies first then.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Flaunting Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles?
In the same bowl?
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
You've never had chocolate covered fruit?
Well, yeah, but
Only on Tuesdays, I get it.
it's dangerous to do that because the excitement,
There's the explosion risk.
the levels are just too high. You shouldn't.
I mean, the
You shouldn't.
The insulin levels are too high.
Yep. Don't take too much, man. Don't take too much.
So, on his pass, it says, on December 7th, Pierce County Undersheriff Joseph E. Kirkpatch and Deputy Michael Waverick, I hate this Washington place that no one's ever heard of before. They took him in a patrol wagon to State Penitentiary in Walla Walla. That's an actual place, not just something that Bugs Bunny made up to await his execution. Shortly after his arrival, he began confessing to his involvement in a dozen murders that took place over a span of 20 years. On January 6, 1948, at the request of Governor Monrad Charles Walgren, Grin, not Green.
Monrad? What's the guy's name?
Monrad.
Wow.
Monrad Charles Walgren.
Sounds like a supervillain. Monrad.
Pierce County Prosecutor Patrick Steele, Steele, Tacoma Police Detective Lieutenant Sherman Lyons, Stealing Lions and Rad.
Great-grandfather Peter Steele?
No. They went to the penitentiary to listen to the confessions. In an obvious bid for a reprieve, Bird offered to tell them more to clear his conscience. Steele told the press, "We want to give him a chance to tell it, but we don't intend to permit him to use what he might have withheld as a means to add a few days to his life." Over the next several days, Steele and Lyons took voluminous notes on Bird's statements, which they compiled into a 174-page report for the governor's office.
Damn.
On January 15th, 1948, Bird finally won a 60-day reprieve from Governor Walgren by claiming that, given time, he could, quote-unquote, clear up at least 44 murders that he either committed or participated in during his travels throughout the country.
Good Lord.
His confessions brought a throng of investigators from across the nation to interview him at the state penitentiary. So, this sentence is great. Of these 44 confessed murders, only 11 were substantiated. Only 11, like, whatever.
It's only,
This motherfucker killed at least fucking 13 people then.
it's only 25%.
Ah.
A little over 25.
But Bird had more than enough knowledge about the others to be the prime suspect. Police from several states took the opportunity to close the books on many of their unsolved murders. In his travels, he had murdered people, mostly women, in Illinois, Kentucky, Nebraska, Omaha, Kansas, South Dakota, Ohio, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, and Washington. Meantime, he appealed his convictions to the Washington State Supreme Court. He personally argued his case before the Supreme Court justices, stating that Judge Hodge had made several judicial errors and demanded a new trial. On November 30th, 1948, his final petition to the state for a retrial was denied, and on December 3rd, 1948, Judge Hugh J. Rossellini signed another death warrant, ordering Bird to be hung or hanged. You can't order somebody to be hung. I order you to be hung on January 4th. You wake up on January 4th. It came true!
Oh, shit.
I can't walk like this. To be hanged.
My pants legs are too tightly tapered.
January 14th, 1949. Bird's attorney, Murray Taggart of Walla Walla. God, these fucking names are amazing. Immediately moved for a stay of execution to permit the filing of an appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals. The motion was granted on the condition the court agreed to review the case. When the U.S. Court of Appeals refused, Judge Rossellini set Bird's execution date for July 15th, 1949. Attorney Taggart requested another stay of execution to permit the filing of an appeal with the Supreme Court, but the motion was denied. Undeterred, he filed 3 more petitions on Bird's behalf, but the U.S. Supreme Court refused to review the case. The last time on July 14th, 1949. Bird's last hope was an act of executive clemency from Governor Arthur B. Langley, but Langley chose not to interfere with the execution.
That dick.
He's like, I don't feel like it, guys. I got this rash, and it's not that bad. It's just like I'm gonna call you back. Just after the whole thing, though. I don't want to interfere.
Explosive diarrhea.
Don't call me back. I gotta go. Gotta make it sound urgent. The hanging.
Play it the whole way.
On Thursday night, July 14th, 1949, Jake Bird ate his last meal on death row and then talked with his attorney for 2 hours. Bird told Taggart he could be a good loser as long as he felt everything possible had been done to save his life.
Fucking Jack Bird.
Later that night, he was moved to a holding cell near the gallows where he was shaved and dressed in new clothes. Just after midnight, Bird walked 10 feet from the cell to the gallows, accompanied by Warden Tom Smith and 2 prison guards. He said nothing to the 125 witnesses who had gathered in the room, but muttered some comment to one of the guards. A volunteer prison chaplain,
"You're a pussy,"
Reverend Arvid C. Ornell, started to read a note from Bird, declaring he bore no malice toward anyone and sought forgiveness. But before he finished, the trap door was sprung, dropping Bird 5 feet to his death. He couldn't even hear the end of his fuck you letter.
Damn.
Before they fucked him.
Like, nope. I don't need to hear that.
Jake Bird was hanged at 12:20 a.m. on July 15, 1949. His body was taken down 14 minutes later, and prison physician Dr. Elmer Hill pronounced him dead. He was buried in an unmarked grave in the prison cemetery, identified only as convict number 21520. Bird willed his personal fortune, $6.15, to his appeals attorney, Murray Taggart. Although not formally educated, Bird gained a modicum of fame as a jailhouse lawyer, often arguing his own case before the court. His knowledge of the law, together with the help of people against the death penalty, enabled him to delay his execution for a full year and a half. Bird's case failed to capture the attention of national press, even though he confessed to committing or being involved in at least 44 murders throughout the country. But history marks him as one of the nation's most prolific serial killers. The Jake Bird Hex. The 5 men connected with Bird's trial who died within a year of the Jake Bird Hex. Edward D. Hodge, Pierce County Superior Court Judge, age 69, died January 1st, 1941.
Damn.
Joseph E. Carpatch, Undersheriff, age 46, died April 5th, 1948. George Harrington, he was a court reporter, age 69, died June 11th. Sherman W. Lyons. Oh no, not Lyons.
Lyons is toast.
Toast with lion on it is just, it's a little greasy, but it's good. He was a police detective lieutenant. He died age 46, October 28th, 1948. And then James W. Selden, Bird's defense attorney, died age 76 on November 26th, 1948.
Damn.
According to the Tacoma News Tribune, all of the men died from heart attacks. A 6th man, a Washington State penitentiary guard assigned to death row, died of pneumonia 2 months before Bird's execution. And that is the short yet bombastically fucking loud and interesting story of Jake Bird.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about the details of the 11 people they substantiated or corroborated.
Well, I mean, basically, it sounds like he. So they confirmed for sure at least 11. At least 11 crimes were solved through his confession, starting with the axe murders of 2 women in Evanston, Illinois, in 1942. Other victims were absolutely confirmed in Louisville, Kentucky, Omaha, Nebraska, Kansas City, Kansas, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Cleveland, Ohio, Orlando, Florida, and Portage, Wisconsin.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Police in Houston suspected him of murdering Mrs. Harry Richardson, and Chicago authorities were curious about a weighted body retrieved from Lake Michigan 5 miles south of Kenosha. Los Angeles detectives had their eye on him for murdering a black youth and a Jewish grocer, while in New York City he was tentatively linked to the robbery and murder of a delicatessen owner.
Wow.
Psychiatrists examined him, but they also examined him in jail and labeled him a psychopath. deriving satisfaction from the sight of women that would be cowering in terror.
Was that their professional examination?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna be examining on. And they just thought, no, walking down I'm out of here. I'm gonna go examine somewhere else. So the verified cases of them, most of his victims were female, most were white, and the majority had been killed with hatchets or axes that were in their homes. Byrd also put a quote-unquote hex on several enemies from prison. Journalists reporting some half a dozen of them did die, which is the hex we heard about.
What?
Yeah, until he ran out of fucking stories to tell, man. July 15th.
It's a pretty it's what I'm searching for.
Bombastically loud and amazing.
Effective hex.
Obliteration.
Yeah, you have to obliterate somebody whose hex is that damn effective.
Yeah, you can't be having him hex all kinds of people with that hexing stuff, you know? I like the last sentence here of the Wacky World of Murders website story on him is an interesting bit. While in prison, it was reported that he put a few hexes on fellow prisoners. A local paper printed stories on these hexes being very feared by prisoners, as a few of those Byrd cursed end up dying. Obviously, this is all bullshit, but it's kind of interesting.
It's a bird curse.
Man, you're a good writer.
Bullshit bird curse.
See, this guy, he likes making stuff up. He then stripped off all of his clothes and took the axe with him into the house. I guess that poor Miss Clute and her daughter were a little surprised by a naked black man running through their house swinging an axe. Yeah, I would be a little bit surprised, I guess. I mean, I'd be more surprised if he was Puerto Rican.
He could be here to clean those wood shavings that I didn't know were there.
That he made with the axes.
Yeah.
While he was naked in his penis. He'd been smacking stuff with that all night, too.
He stores them in the cheeks.
Right in the cheeks.
He also picks them up with the cheeks. It's pretty impressive.
This dude, I like the way he is not okay.
He's embellishing.
He is
Embellishing the examination.
I think he maybe overheard two other people talking about this at a party and was like, I could write that. I could write that just fine. But see, we have 11. 11 substantiated, but 44 are spoken for. What do we say? Confessed of, and then it really at that point in his fucking incarceration and impending fucking death, he's literally only gonna buy a couple of days just so he can tell these other cops where the bodies are and shit.
Maybe.
What is the use? I mean, unless he certainly didn't fucking turn over a new leaf and feel sadness and remorse and want these families to have closure. So what's the fucking use of having 2 more days if those days are just days full of trying to convince people that you should have another day of trying to convince people? Because you're not leaving. You're not leaving the jail. You're going to die because of them killing you.
I mean...
Why? Why even try to fucking just... I don't get it. That's weird.
Stretch it out, I guess?
Yeah, like his neck when they killed him.
Yeah.
Stretch it out.
Yeah. Milking it, if you will.
I don't know about that, unless it's over the pants. That's so messy. So, that's what he did, man.
Jack Byrd.
The Tacoma axe killer. He killed axes with Tacomas. The trucks. The Tacoma truck.
Would that even work?
Oh, yeah, you could kill an axe with that if you could bring it to life first. I mean, it would have to, some kind of magic would have to be involved at some point.
At the beginning.
Mostly the axe being alive, which is the scary thing to have. Because what if you make it upset?
Yeah.
It just takes off his clothes and runs around your house black and naked.
Thankfully, it doesn't have any arms, so it can't technically molest you, but...
I mean, you could totally blunt and you pretty good, though.
Can split your shit pretty well.
Stay away from my shit, man. I'm telling you about that earlier, and it's not cool that you bring it up here.
I splits it with a sharp wedge.
With a sharp wedge. With the pigeon wedge. With the pigeon wedge. So, wow, an hour.
Yeah.
An hour that we got out of this guy's 4-paragraph life story, and then
Nicely done, sir.
slightly longer paragraphs of his arrest, his trial, and his execution.
Well, I think that one was a neatly wrapped little package there.
I actually like what it makes us think about.
Kind of like your breasticles.
Why are you thinking about my breasticles? And why would you call them breasticles? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's not like a vag cleave kind of thing.
It's totally a vag cleave thing.
No way. It's a dangle stitching, you know, bitch.
Well,
So,
I mean, because just gravity and age and...
I will say, in honor of every badass named fucker that we came across tonight, that I can only say thank you for listening to another fucking man, steel, lion, fucking
Turtle nuts.
turtle nuts, and eagle-hearted episode of
The UFOs, the conspiracies, and the moitas.
And the
Don't forget the call.
Count Call.
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 If I can't do it, you can't do it.
Turkey sound. That was.
Yeah, blame it on the turkey.
Blame it on the turkey. Yeah. Blame it on the fridge
Giblets.
that wouldn't refrigerate it right.
The technology was coming up at that time.
In the 90s?
Well,
When Blame It on the Turkey was written?
blame it on the turkey, blame it on the turkey, blame it on the turkeys, baby.
Man, that poor Millie and Vanilli. Robin Fab, they were named.
Their real names?
Yeah, Robin Fab. R-O-B and A-N-D F-A-B. Germans, you
Both
know.
of them?
No, they were just one was Rob and the other one was Fab.
Oh.
They were both German.
Oh,
Yes.
they were German.
Yes.
Jesus.
German blacks with long hair and really tight shorts and
Never again will we
Okay.
allow such a thing.
not unless they have an axe and they're naked running through your house.
Eesh.
Going schnitzel, schnitzel, schnitzel.
Mm-mm.
Blame it on the schnitzel.
Mm-mm. Make spätzle out of your gray matter with an axe.
Only at Oktoberfest. That doesn't sound anything like the turkey sound I did. Also, for real countdown now. 3, 2,
One.
1. Good night, children
Later,
of
kids.
the midday. Thank you for that ending fucking stupid loud truck. It's still there, somehow.
Yeah,
Because it's still in one fucking place.
loud ass truck.
Go away. Okay. Sweet dreams. Good night.
But his body never was found. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, in the pines.